Well, thank you, Mary, for that kind introduction, and it's a thrill to be joining you all today. You know, I've had the pleasure of working with Research America and America for the past several years, and I can honestly say very few match her vigor and enthusiasm for advancing medical research. Now, Mary asked me to give a few remarks today, which I normally, as folks who know me, do quite off the cuff, but I realized that I've never spoken for less than about an hour and 10 minutes. More importantly, our staff realized that as well. So they've prepared written remarks for me today, so I'm actually off the stage somewhere in less than 10 minutes. So Astellas is indeed proud to be the lead sponsor of this year's forum, which comes at a particularly intriguing and promising time for all of us engaged in healthcare research. For those of you unfamiliar with Astellas, we are a global company with about 18,000 employees across 55 countries, 3,000 of which are here in the United States. This is actually our 10th anniversary year. Astellas was formed about 10 years ago as a result of the merger between the third and fifth largest pharmaceutical companies in Japan. And while we're involved in a multitude of therapeutic areas, we remain industry leaders in both urology and transplantation, but we have clearly expanded our portfolio and are moving very rapidly into the area of oncology. However, regardless of the therapeutic area in which we're involved, we're focused intently on one key priority, and that is turning novel science into valued treatments for our patients. As Mary eloquently captured, we are all in the midst of a new era in medical science, really in healthcare overall. Is there a segment of our system that isn't undergoing significant change? From surging understanding of the molecular underpinnings of disease to the emergence of personalized medicine, from evolving Affordable Care Act exchange marketplace to the empowered patient, from hospital consolidation to an enhanced focus on value in healthcare delivery and formulary decisions. The changes are clearly fast and furious. Catching up or even staying ahead of the curve is clearly our challenge. It was only a year ago that I participated in a thought assembly that followed this very event 1 year previously. During that session, we noted with regard to two diseases, both cancer and AIDS, it essentially required a U.S. president to declare war on those diseases, to mobilize the government and our country to step up to fight for our patients through well-funded research. Based on that observation, we concluded that day that if we want America to remain the epicenter of molecular innovation, of medical innovation, we need to learn from these lessons and engage impassioned advocates from across the ecosystem to create a groundswell around medical research. Arguably, that groundswell may have already begun in the form of the 21st Century Cures Act. Over the past year, this massive effort dominated much of the discussions around the discovery, development, and delivery of healthcare. While not everyone agrees on the details, I am sure that no one would argue that as notable as the legislation itself, it is the collective spirit forged by Chairman Upton and Congresswoman DeGette that has really been remarkable. I bet there isn't a person in this room who hasn't participated in 21st Century Cures in some way. This galvanizing process has been a powerful, contagious force, coupled with the parallel efforts being shepherded in the Senate by the Health Committee Chairman Alexander. It is admirable, impactful, and a collaborative rallying cry that I hope will extend well beyond this singular initiative. At Astellas, we're also strong believers in partnership. Collaboration and the collaborative spirit is woven into everything we do, including one area of increasing importance to us, which Mary has asked me to talk about today briefly. And that is the collection, analysis, and dissemination of real-world evidence. I'd like to share a few thoughts about real-world evidence before we embark on today's discussions. You don't have to be a student of pharmaceutical science to know that randomized controlled clinical trials have long been the primary source of data and clearly the gold standard for establishing the safety and efficacy of investigational drugs. Randomized controlled clinical trials are designed to target specific patient populations and to address the important questions of risk and benefit in a very controlled clinical setting. However, once a medicine is approved by the FDA and prescribed by physicians, many more patients receive the drug, and almost always outside that controlled clinical environment. These real-world patients offer hugely valuable safety and efficacy information that goes well beyond the information generated in a controlled clinical trial. Let me give you a hypothetical example. Say you have two medicines in a class, both with proven safety and efficacy in a particular disease. But one is more tolerable to patients than the other, leading to better patient compliance. In a randomized controlled clinical trial, it would be difficult to differentiate these two agents, as patient adherence is largely assured through the controlled nature of the trial. However, in a real-world evidence study design, the more tolerable agent may in fact prove superior to the less tolerable agent based only on patient adherence. Real-world evidence allows us to examine broader information on the use of these medicines. We can learn new details about how a patient responds that can be incredibly meaningful over time. Such information has certainly been used by the FDA over many years to inform safety-related decisions, but has typically not been used to evaluate the benefits of a drug. In comments on 21st Century Cures, our trade institution, PhRMA, supported an expansion of FDA's ability to make decisions on therapeutic benefits of a medicine based on real-world evidence. They suggested, and we agree, such a policy shift is long overdue. It would have a profound impact on the efficiency of drug development. It would appropriately reflect our technological capabilities, and most importantly, it would benefit patients seeking new options to battle disease. Of course, real-world evidence has applications beyond the review of new medicines and new indications. If there's one word that's quickly catching up to innovation within the healthcare nomenclature, it's the word value. The shift is on to value-based decision-making. Payers, physician groups, engaged patients, biopharmaceutical companies. We are all focused on value and related frameworks. But as these frameworks are evaluated and put into place, we need appropriate guardrails that preserve evidence-based decision-making by patients and physicians. Judgments about the value of a treatment are highly individualized, and they change over time as new research and treatment options emerge. We must use our available tools to reach such judgments, including real-world evidence. Understanding how treatments work in the real world is vital for health plans, providers, and biopharmaceutical companies. Payers want to know more about real-world patient experiences, and they seek pharmacoeconomic data. But lingering ambiguities in related regulations serve as a deterrent not only for sharing such information, but for collecting it in the first place. I understand that 21st Century Cures takes steps towards addressing FDA's current regulations, which prevent companies from sharing certain accurate, data-driven information with healthcare providers and payers to inform patient care. That's encouraging, and I hope the Senate continues to focus on improving health outcomes through more informed clinical practice. In the meantime, at Astellas, we're looking at new ways to bring better value to our customers and patients, and real-world evidence is a key component. For example, we are working with our partner Medivation on a prospective patient registry to better understand the unique needs of patients with castrate-resistant prostate cancer. This disease-based registry, called Trumpet, will enroll and evaluate 2,000 patients diagnosed with castrate-resistant prostate cancer from urology and oncology sites across the country. We will follow patients for up to 6 years and gather information about the management of castrate-resistant prostate cancer, including patterns of care and the settings in which they occur. The registry does not evaluate any specific medicine, but focuses on treatment patterns and their effect on the quality of life. So why do we do it? We do it to learn. The insights from Trumpet can directly impact our research approach and increase our understanding of important treatment considerations. And we do it as part of our commitment to provide effective evidence-based care for cancer patients and their caregivers. The digitalization of healthcare information is changing the way we do business. It's enabling us to better identify what works and for whom, what doesn't and why. Tapping into this real-world, digitalized data can not only help establish the value of an individual product, but it also provides us with much more. It helps inform our research and development, it provides better insights into disease states, and it demonstrates how well the current standards of care work. While we all stand together to embrace the importance of robust funding for basic research, we can't lose sight of the role that the biopharmaceutical companies play in evidence development. In 2014 alone, biopharmaceutical companies invested more than $51 billion on applied research. By comparison, NIH's total budget for 2014 was $30 billion. Now is the time to create a modernized regulatory framework that encourages the development and dissemination of accurate, data-driven information, which includes real-world data, to improve patient care. And we need to count on your impassioned advocacy to achieve these changes. Again, I'd like to thank Mary and her team for bringing us all together today, and I'm very excited to hear the panel discussions which will follow. Have a great meeting.